Hello everyone, welcome you all onto the SVP online classes study channel. We were discussing about the expression of concentration in the different terms in previous lectures, right? And on the basis of those expressions, we have also done the numerical problems based on all those expressions, right? So we are very close to complete the chapter, but in the entire course of the chapter we have left some topics or some simple topics. You already know about these topics, right? So let me do those topics first, and we will end up the chapter formally today, right? There is a topic which we have skipped, that is atomic mass. You know that the mass of an atom is called atomic mass of an atom is called atomic mass, right? It means the mass which an atom has, that can simply be written as atomic mass. And you know that the mass of atom is very small, right? So this mass of atom is measured in AMU. This is the special unit in which the mass of atom is measured. This AMU is atomic mass unit, or it is also called as what? U is what? Unified mass, because atom size is very small, right? So its mass is very small, and it's very difficult to calculate its mass in terms of grams or in the general units, right? So atomic mass is given in a special unit, that is called AMU, and AMU stands for atomic mass unit, or it is also given in U, where U stands for unified mass, where U shows the unified mass, right? The mass of every atom is given on the basis of carbon 12 isotope of carbon, right? Carbon 12 isotope of carbon. In the mole concept, we have seen that the mole concept was based on the carbon 12 isotope of carbon. Similarly, atomic mass is given on the basis of carbon 12 isotope of carbon. You know that 6C12, this isotope of carbon is very important, right? This isotope says that the 12 gram is the atomic mass of carbon. This is what? 12 gram is the atomic mass of carbon, right? Okay, so 1 gram consists 1 upon 12 into atomic mass of carbon, right? If we consider that carbon's atomic mass is 12 gram, carbon's atomic mass is 12 gram, right? 12 gram, right? For 1 gram, what we can say? 1 upon 12 multiplied by carbon's atomic mass, right? ओके, सो फॉर एनी एटम, कार्बन का किसी भी एटम का एटॉमिक मास क्या हो सकता है? कार्बन के एटॉमिक मास के 1/12 से जितना ज़्यादा होगा उतना ही उसका एटॉमिक मास होगा, राइट? राइट, फॉर 1 ग्राम वाट वी कैन सी 1/12 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द कार्बन एटॉमिक मास। भाई हमारे पास कार्बन का एटॉमिक मास कितना होता है? 12 होता है। कार्बन का एटॉमिक मास क्या होता है? 12 होता है, राइट? अब 12 में 1 का भाग, 12 का भाग देंगे तो क्या आएगा? 1 ग्राम। तो 1 ग्राम के लिए हम क्या बोल सकते हैं? 1/12 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द कार्बन एटॉमिक मास, राइट? So the different atoms atomic mass can be given that how much more it is than the 1/12 multiplied by the carbon's atomic mass. कार्बन के एटॉमिक मास के 1/12 से वो कितना ज़्यादा है, उस बेसिस पर हम क्या देते हैं? एटॉमिक मास देते हैं, राइट? Okay, right? There are number of atoms which are present in the isotopic forms, right? Most of the isotopes are not in the significant amounts, but some elements have their isotopes in the significant amount. It means all those isotopes which are present in the significant amount, at that time we have to consider both the or all the isotopes of that atom in the atomic mass. So at that time the atomic mass cannot be there only based on only one isotope, but it is the composition of two or more than two isotopes, right? So at that time, whenever isotopes are present in the significant amount, then we use average atomic mass instead of atomic mass. Then we use average atomic mass instead of atomic mass, right? Average atomic mass instead of atomic mass. So average atomic mass is given for those elements which isotopes are present in the significant amount, which isotopes are present in the significant amount. For example, carbon is present in the three isotopic form, and those three isotopic forms are about 6C12, 6C13, 6C14, right? Out of these three isotopic forms, 99.9% part of carbon is present in terms of C612, right? And these two isotopes are present in a very rare quantity, These two isotopes are present in a very rare quantity, right? So we consider that the most part of carbon is from isotope 6C12. That's why we have considered that the mass, atomic mass of carbon is 12. Atomic mass of carbon is 12. But if these isotopic forms become significant, then we have to consider all the atomic masses into that. We have to consider all the atomic masses into that, and at that time the atomic mass becomes equal to the average atomic mass. उस टाइम पे हम क्या बोलेंगे, atomic mass को average atomic mass is given, right? For example, if we consider a question that is chlorine. Chlorine have two isotopic forms. One is 17Cl35, 17Cl37. It means the two isotopic forms are there of chlorine. One is having atomic mass 35, another one is having atomic mass 37, and they are present in the ratio 3:1, or they are present in the ratio 75% 25%, right? It means the isotope having atomic mass 35, that is present in the 75% amount, right? And the isotope which is having 37 atomic mass, that is present in the 25% amount. But we cannot neglect the 25% amount of an isotope, because 25% is significant in 25% is significant, right? So both the isotopic forms of chlorine, these two isotopic forms are significant here, right? So for the chlorine, which type of mass we prefer? We prefer average atomic mass. Which mass we write? Average atomic mass instead of atomic mass, right? If it's one isotope is present in the maximum amount, then we can consider the simply that atomic mass. But both the isotopic forms are having significant amount, so we have to calculate the average atomic mass. And how can we calculate average atomic mass? Average atomic mass, it means the 35 atomic mass having isotope is present in the 75% amount, plus the isotope which is having atomic mass 37, that is present in which amount? 25% amount. So let me calculate that 35 atomic mass containing isotope is present in 75% amount. So I have written here 35 multiplied by the 75 divided by 100, plus isotope having atomic mass 37, that is present in the 25% amount. If we cut it that 4 times and 3 times, if we cut here, then 1 time and 4 times, right? 1 time and 4 times. So what we can write? We can write simply that 35 multiplied by 3 by 4 plus 37 multiplied by 1 by 4. 37 multiplied by 1 by 4, so, and it can be written as what? 105 by 4 plus 37 by 4, right? After taking LCM, what we can obtain? 4 is LCM. 105 plus 37, that is 142. So ultimately the average atomic mass is what? Average atomic mass is 142 divided by 4, and this comes equals to 35.5 gram. This comes equal to 35.5 gram. This 35.5 gram is the average atomic mass, right? This is not the atomic mass, because we know that the mass cannot be in fraction. हमको भी पता है क्या मास क्या, मास फ्रैक्शन में नहीं हो सकता है, राइट? और अगर हम एटॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर की बात करेंगे, तो जो मास होता है वो क्या होता है? नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स प्लस नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स दैट आर प्रेजेंट इन द न्यूक्लियस, दैट इज कॉल्ड मास. सो नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स एंड नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स कैन नॉट बी इन फ्रैक्शन. आप लोगों ने पहले छोटी क्लासेज में पढ़ा है 9th क्लास में कि जो एटॉमिक मास होता है, दैट एटॉमिक मास इज द सम ऑफ नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स प्लस नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स, राइट? तो नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स एंड नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स फ्रैक्शन में नहीं हो सकते. इवन देन द क्लोरीन्स एटॉमिक मास is 35.5 gram. I hope that you have understood why it is 35.5 gram, because both the isotopic forms of chlorine were significant. That's why we use average atomic mass instead of atomic mass. So whenever we calculate the atomic mass, average atomic mass, at that time it comes equals to 35.5, and we know that chlorine's atomic mass is given by 35.5 ग्राम, राइट? तो कुछ एक एलिमेंट्स का हम क्या यूज में लेते हैं? एवरेज एटॉमिक मास यूज में लेते हैं इंस्टेड ऑफ एटॉमिक मास, राइट? वी नो दैट द एटम्स आर कंबाइंड टुगेदर टू फॉर्म अ मॉलिक्यूल और अ कंपाउंड, राइट? दोज कंपाउंड्स are more important as comparison to the atoms, right? It means each and everything we consider at molecular level, not at the atomic level. So the mass of a compound, so the mass of a compound or a molecule is called molecular mass. The mass of a compound or a molecule is called molecular mass, right? So molecular mass is given as the sum of atomic masses of all the atoms present into that compound. Molecular mass is given by sum of atomic masses of all the atoms present into that molecule, right? For example, if we consider CaCO3, if we consider CaCO3, then CaCO3's molecular mass can be given as what? Mass of Ca plus mass of carbon plus mass of 3 oxygen atoms. How many oxygen atoms are there? 3 oxygen atoms are there, right? So if we add the mass, atomic mass of calcium, atomic mass of carbon and atomic mass of 3 oxygen atoms, then we will have the molecular mass, right? Then we will have molecular mass. We know that the atomic mass of calcium is in AMU or U. Similarly, atomic mass of mass of carbon is in U and atomic mass of oxygen is in U. So ultimately the molecular mass is measured in AMU or unified mass. Okay. So molecular mass is given in AMU, right? This AMU can also be written in U, right? But we are not familiar in the AMU or U. We are familiar in gram in terms of mass. It means in the calculation of mass we are familiar with the gram, right? So whenever molecular mass is given in gram, whenever molecular mass is given in gram, at that time it is called as what? Molar mass, right? Whenever molecular mass is given in gram, that it is called molar mass. Actually the atomic mass or the molecular mass, those are present in the AMU or U, right? But for our sake of convenience, we consider those in grams, right? Whenever molecular mass is considered in gram, at that time we call it was molar mass. That's why we said that the mass of carbon is 12 gram, right? So mass of carbon cannot be 12 gram, right? But we are writing it as gram. We are writing it as gram. It means this is the molar mass, right? So whenever we consider the AMU or U in terms of gram, at that time the molecular mass becomes equal to the molar mass, right? तो मोलर मास, मोलिकुलर मास को हम क्या लिख देते हैं? मोलर मास लिख देते हैं जब हम उसको ग्राम में कंसिडर करते हैं हमारी कैलकुलेशन पर्पज के लिए, राइट? सो एंड मोलिकुलर मास कैन इजीली बी calculated by adding all the atomic masses of the atoms which are present into that particular compound, right? For example, if you want to calculate the molecular mass of H2O, then its molecular mass is twice of molecular mass of H plus atomic mass of oxygen. So we know that the hydrogen's atomic mass is 1 plus oxygen is 16. So ultimately the answer is what? 18, right? This atomic mass is in AMU. This atomic mass is in AMU and it is written as 18 gram, right? So 18 gram is molar mass and 18 AMU is molecular mass. So this is the difference in between the molecular mass and molar mass, right? In the next section there are some basic laws of chemistry. You know about these basic laws and you have studied about these laws in the previous classes, right? Let me revise those laws. The first one is what? Law of conservation of mass. You know that law of conservation of mass states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another form. Mass को create नहीं किया जा सकता, mass को destroy भी नहीं किया जा सकता, right? But it can be transformed from one form to another form, right? It means mass of universe is constant. Mass of universe is constant, right? Mass neither be added nor be destroyed, right? So this is the law of conservation of mass. And in the 10th class you did balancing of chemical reactions. That balancing of chemical reactions is due to the law of conservation of mass, or in order to fulfill the law of conservation of mass we balanced the chemical reactions, right? The next law is what? Law of definite proportion. And the law of definite proportion states that in a chemical compound all the elements or all the atoms which are present, those elements are present in a fixed ratio, right? Or fixed or definite ratio. It means in a compound the elements or atoms by which that compound is formed, so all those elements or atoms are combined together in a fixed ratio, right? For example, in H2O the hydrogen and oxygen are combined together in ratio 2:1. It means hydrogen and oxygen when combined together in 2:1, only then the water will form. And if these hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the ratio 2:2, at that time H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide, is formed. That is what hydrogen peroxide is formed. So in simple way it can be written as 1:1. Okay. Or if we consider CO2, then carbon and oxygen are present in 1:2. It means one atom of carbon and the two atom of oxygen are present, only then the CO2 is formed. And if we consider the CO, then carbon and oxygen are having ratio 1:1. It means the one atom of carbon when combined with the one atom of oxygen, only then the CO is formed. So in a compound, all the atoms by which it is formed, those atoms are combined together in a fixed ratio, right? The next one, law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportion. And the law of multiple proportion states that if the two or more than two elements are present in the two or more than two compounds, then they are having their own ratios in those different compounds, right? For example, we have CO2, right? Here carbon's atomic mass is 12 and oxygen's atomic mass is 32. So 12:32 is there by mass. 12:32 by mass, that will give the carbon dioxide, right? Similarly, if you consider carbon monoxide, then 12 gram of carbon is combined with the 16 gram of oxygen, so the ratio is 12:16, right? It means अगर कुछ एक एटम्स और एलिमेंट्स एक से ज़्यादा कंपाउंड्स बनाते हैं, तो उन अलग अलग कंपाउंड्स में उन एटम्स और एलिमेंट्स का रेशियो भी क्या होता है, अलग अलग होता है. इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, लॉ ऑफ मल्टीपल proportion, right? The next law is what? Law of gaseous volumes. Law of gaseous volumes. It means if we consider a chemical reaction in which gaseous reactants are present, then those gaseous reactants are combined together in a fixed volume. In a fixed volume, because gases का volume हम क्या करते हैं, consider करते हैं. So those gases are combined together in a fixed volume, right? Next one is Avogadro's law. You have studied about the Avogadro's constant. That Avogadro's constant says that 6.023 to 10 to the power 23 molecules or particles are there in 1 mole, right? So what Avogadro's law states that the equal volume of gases contains equal number of molecules, right? If we consider the 1 mole of anything, that contains Avogadro number, so that is 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 particles. If we consider 1 mole's volume of any gas, then the molecules are same, right? Next one is the Dalton's law. This is the basic law that you have studied in the previous classes or in the 9th class, and Dalton's law states that the basic building block of every matter is atom. It means all the matters are considered to form by atoms, right? So these are some basic laws about which you know or you already know, right? So you should study about these basic laws, as well as you should go through the atomic mass and the molecular mass. But one thing is very important: what is the difference in between the molecular mass and molar mass, right? For our convenience, whenever we write the molecular mass, at that time it becomes molar mass. So this is your first chapter, and we have ended up the first chapter today formally, right? And in the next lecture we will start on another chapter, okay? But before that, you should go through the exercise that is mentioned in the NCERT book, or in the book you can do the questions. If you have any problem, then you can ask, and you can write in the comment section of the video, or you can come onto the personal chat, right? So keep studying, keep learning, stay at your home, be safe, protect your family, and enjoy the melody of life. Thank you.